This is your First Alert Weather Breakdown, a deep dive into how weather works, with meteorologist CJ Cartledge.
Good morning, everyone. I'm First Alert Meteorologist CJ Cartledge here on the KSLA First Alert Weather Breakdown for today. We could not have a show yesterday due to some technical difficulties here at the station, but we're back in action for today to talk to you about some pretty interesting topics here. We're going to be dealing with the hottest conditions that we have seen so far across the Arklatex this year as well as this season. And we're going to be breaking down the details here on the KSLA First Alert Weather Breakdown. Now, here's another topic that we will be talking about for today, as well as the highest temperatures of this season and this year. We will also be talking about heat safety tips, how to keep yourself from experiencing any symptoms of any heat-related illnesses like heat stroke or heat exhaustion. And we're going to talk about some tips to keep your pet safe from any types of heat illnesses or any types of hot surfaces, as well as you're taking them on a walk for throughout the daytime hours or whenever it may be safe during this summer season here. So that's what we're talking about throughout this podcast for today. Let's jump into a live look outside here, courtesy of our KSLA Tower Camera, sponsored by Mattress Plus. And we're seeing mostly blue skies out there, maybe some haziness in the distance, but we are seeing quiet conditions here on the ground, and that humidity and temperature is on its way upwards towards the 90s and into the triple digits for some areas around the Arklatex by the time we hit this afternoon here. Here's a look at infrared satellite and radar across the country right now, and as you can see, that big old H there is denoting the high pressure system that is keeping most moisture out of the Arklatex and out of the southern and eastern United States as of right now. As you can see here, I'm going to actually move myself off the screen so you can see the full picture of what's going on around the Arklatex and the southeastern United States here. And there's a low pressure system that is actually tracking to the east, mainly because of the circulation of the high pressure system is counterclockwise. So that denotes that the winds are blowing pretty much this way at the upper levels, the northern portions of the high pressure system, and to the west from the southern half of the high pressure system there. That is pretty much the circulation of a high pressure system. That's why the low pressure system is moving east, and whatever is off to the west of us is staying west. As you can see, there's another circulation of another low pressure system out there, not posing too much trouble for those in Texas and the southwestern states in the United States as of right now, but it is bringing some rainfall to those areas over there. That's why they're just a little bit cooler as compared to areas that are within the high pressure system as of right now here near Shreveport and Bossier, Monroe, Louisiana, and in portions of Mississippi as well. And portions like Arkansas, Oklahoma, Alabama, Mississippi, as mentioned before, and some parts of Georgia, or northern portions of Georgia, are dealing with the same conditions that we are dealing with currently. Now, the notion of this high pressure system is bringing us highs in the 90s and in the lower triple digits with little to no rain chances, as mentioned before. And if we keep zooming in, we won't be seeing any types of cloud cover, if any at all, maybe a stray cloud or two. But that's pretty much what's going on across the Arklatex as of right now. Nothing much across the region here. Here's a look at our temperatures, which is the big story for this upcoming or for this work week that we are now in. We're sitting in the 80s as of right now. 88 already at the 10 o'clock hour, in the middle of the 10 o'clock hour here for Shreveport and Bossier. Same for Magnolia. It looks to be at around 89 for Texarkana. They have been one of the hotter areas around the Arklatex throughout this summer season so far, as they've hit the 100-degree mark three different times this summer on July 7th. July 20th, as well as yesterday, July 21st. 89 looks to be the temperature near Natchitoches, 89 for Bienville, 84 near Carthage and Nacogdoches. And another thing to note is that since as Texarkana has hit the triple-digit mark 3 times this summer. I believe Henderson has hit the triple-digit mark around the same amount of times. Nowhere else around the region has hit the triple-digit mark just yet for this summer here, but we definitely have the chance to see more areas hit the triple digits as we move throughout this upcoming work week with the temperatures that are expected here around the region. And as you can see with feels like temperatures, they will stay in the triple digits by the time we hit the afternoon, but it's 10 o'clock right now. That's why most feels like temperatures are in the 90s currently. We're already sitting at 108 near Bienville. It feels like 108, and I believe their temperature was in the upper 80s as well. So they're dealing with more than a 20-degree difference from temperature and feels like temperature. Their dew points are extremely high as of right now. That's what that's saying. 100 for Texarkana. It feels like 98 near Shreveport currently. It feels like 85 near Center. It feels like the mid-90s for Marshall. It feels like the upper 90s, almost the triple digits near Idabel. And it feels like 100 for Magnolia in southwestern Arkansas as well. Through the day, this is actually for tomorrow. We're going to look at the forecast for today. I can find it. It's going to be very similar to what we will see for today, but this is the forecast for tomorrow here. We're expecting mostly sunny conditions, temperatures in the 90s, starting out in the 70s, ending up in the 90s by the time we hit the afternoon. It's pretty much a copy and paste here. It's not too much different from what we will see for today as what we will see for tomorrow. So let's take a look at highs for today around the region here. Moving myself off the screen. 99 for Magnolia, 100 for Prescott and Stamp, same for Hope, 99 for Nashville, 102 potentially near Texarkana for today. I believe they hit the 100-degree mark yesterday, as mentioned before. 100 for New Boston and Doddridge, 98 for Foreman, 96 for Broken Bow, and 98 near DeKalb in northeastern Texas. More in northeast Texas, or more in East Texas as a whole here for the Arklatex. 101 potentially near Henderson, 96 for Nacogdoches, same for Chirano. 96 for San Augustine as well. Looks to be at around 98 for Carthage. Over in northwest Louisiana, we should see the mid and upper 90s, if not the triple digits across those areas as well. 98 for Natchitoches, Montgomery, Winfield, Jonesboro, Bienville, Ringgold, all those areas in the far south and eastern corner of the Arklatex region. 97 for Homer and Ruston, and 97 same for Mansfield, Commerce, and Manny, and the just along the Louisiana-Texas border there. And this is supposed to be feels like temperatures for tomorrow, but it's not showing up here. So I'm actually going to look for feels like temperatures for today for you guys. If I can find it. Actually, there we have a little bit of a loop here that I was actually supposed to show you instead of feels like temperatures for tomorrow. So excuse that. But as you can see, we're expecting temperatures to rise into the mid and upper triple digits for most of the Arklatex, which is why we're going to be under a heat advisory for today. And as we move towards the evening, of course, temperatures will cool off, or it feels like temperatures will cool off, but we'll still see some slight humidity around the Arklatex, which is why most of us are feeling or may feel like the lower 80s and some even the mid 80s near Shreveport and Bossier, as actual temperatures will be in the 70s across the region. But as we move towards tomorrow afternoon for Wednesday, we should see a very similar trend with those purples returning, denoting that triple digit feels like temperatures are on the way back towards the Arklatex. 108 for Natchitoches, possibly 106 for Shreveport. Texarkana sitting at a hot and toasty 110 in terms of forecasted feels like temperatures, and we're expected to return back to slight humidity as we move into our Thursday morning ahead, which is why we're under a heat advisory for today. And as you can see, it encompasses everywhere around the Arklatex, including those areas that were left out of a heat advisory just 24 hours ago, near Mount Pleasant and those areas around there, the counties that are in northeastern Texas, like Red River County was left out of it, but now they're under a heat advisory for today. It lasts from now until 8 p.m. this evening. And as you can see, just to the east of us are excessive heat warnings, denoting that feels like temperatures could reach above 110 degrees as we move through the afternoon. So they're dealing with slightly hotter and more humid conditions out there to the east of us in northeastern Louisiana, eastern Arkansas, and western and northwestern Mississippi as well. But looking across the country here, most of us, or a good portion of the United States, is dealing with heat advisory, or it's not excessive heat warning anymore. It's actually called an extreme heat warning now across the south and eastern states here. As you can see, with some areas in the Dakotas or South Dakota, Minnesota, as well as Iowa and Nebraska. Portions of Iowa and Nebraska are under a heat advisory for today, as well as extending all the way down to portions of northern Florida, southern Alabama, or most of Alabama and southern Georgia. Most of the midsection of that orange and purple or pinkish area is dealing with an extreme heat warning as of right now. But as we move through the rest of the week, temperatures may drop. That's mainly because of these higher rain chances as the high pressure system that is expected to move east outside of the region here. We're expecting the rain chances to rise here, along with the high pressure moving eastward. Making us lose the powerful and dominant weather pattern that it brings with the high heat and humidity and mostly dry conditions. We could see more showers and storms pop up around the region, denoting the higher rain chances for our Friday and heading into Saturday and Sunday. But let's see how it will affect these temperatures here with the 7-day forecast that comes up in just a little bit. First, we're going to show you the rainfall potential through the next 7 days. It doesn't look to be much. It wasn't much yesterday, and we're looking at it here for rainfall potential. If it would load here, it takes its time every time we try to log into or try to look at the rainfall potential for the next 7 days here. But it's just taking its sweet time for this morning. So we're actually going to move on from that. As you can see with our 7-day forecast, because the rainfall potential wouldn't load. So we're not expecting much, mainly just below an inch for the next 7 days. So that is around the average for this time of year, especially for the next 7 days totaled up. But here's that 7-day forecast. We're expecting to hit the triple digits here in Shreveport and Bossier for our Tuesday, today, Wednesday, and Thursday of this work week that we are now in. And the temperatures are expected to remain in the 70s in the mornings throughout. And we're expecting rain chances to slightly rise heading into our Thursday, Friday, and Saturday. We have a little bit of a higher rain chance heading into Saturday, though, as you can see here, with temperatures dropping towards the average, maybe slightly below the average across most of the Arklatex here for Saturday. As we move towards Sunday and Monday, temperatures increase back towards the mid and upper 90s across the Arklatex, with slight rain chances remaining in the forecast here across the region here. So as we move into the following work week, we could see another rise in those temperatures, and I'll be explaining more details on that coming up right after this quick break in about 2 minutes. So make sure to stay tuned. We're going to be giving heat safety tips for those that may or may not experience symptoms of heat-related illnesses, and how to prevent yourself from possibly experiencing these symptoms. Make sure to stay tuned for those details on that and how long this heat and humidity may last, coming up in just around 2 minutes. Good morning, everyone, and welcome back. We're going to start you guys off with the heat risk potential. Now, this is a parameter denoted by or made by the National Weather Service to just let people know or just give a distinction between those who may be affected by the heat and humidity a little bit more as compared to those who may not be affected by the heat and humidity. So, for the yellow color, the minor heat and humidity is what it's denoting, is a lot more sensitive for those extremely, or it may affect those that are extremely sensitive to high temperatures and high humidity. For the orange color, that denotes those. That affects, or that denotes the heat and humidity that will affect around half of the population, that is sensitive to heat and humidity. For the red colors, that affects almost everyone. That denotes the major heat and humidity. That mainly the darker colors that you see on the screen here, ranging from that whitish color towards the purplish color. The darker colors that you see there denotes the higher chance for you to experience maybe some heat related illness type of symptoms, like no sweating, or like dizziness, or feeling like you're going to faint, and things of that nature. We're going to dive into those details in just a little bit, but here's the look for our Tuesday. We're looking at mostly orange, with mostly orange colors around the Arclitex, which denotes the moderate heat and humidity. And according to the National Weather Service, this orange color denotes it says that it affects those who are sensitive to heat, and especially those without cooling or hydration, and some health systems and industries. So those who are sensitive to heat in general will be affected by the heat for today. And for those that are in the red color, that affects most people, and just in general, whether you're sensitive to heat or not. So make sure to always have some source of cooling, whether that's your car, air conditioner, whether that's your house, or structure, not generator, but air conditioning. Make sure to have a source of air conditioning or cool air, whether that's a little fan or whether that's a big fan. Any types of cooling will help in this high heat and humidity that we will be dealing with throughout this work week. Now let's look at the days ahead for us here in the Arclitex. It looks to be very similar for today as what we can expect for tomorrow, for our Wednesday. Most of us dealing with the orange type of heat and humidity, but most of us in East Texas, most of those viewers in East Texas won't be dealing with as high of temperatures and of humidity as areas on the eastern half of the Arclitex. Some localized areas could be dealing with some major heat and humidity, especially for areas like Texarkana and Shreveport. They're more urbanized areas are dealing with the higher heat and humidity, denoting the red color that you see there. Thankfully, we're not dealing with any purples, which is harmful for anyone that is outside for prolonged periods of time. As we look towards Thursday, more reds colors that you see there on the screen. We could very well hit the triple digits on that day as well. Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday are the prime days for hitting the triple digits here for Shreveport and Bossier, and areas like southwestern Arkansas and Texarkana. More of the urbanized areas look to have a higher chance of hitting the triple digits on those days, Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday of this work week that we are now in. But we could see a higher amount of heat and humidity as we move towards our Thursday. More than likely, we will be under a heat advisory on Thursday as well. We're just waiting on the National Weather Service to potentially issue another one extending into our Wednesday, but we'll have to wait on Notion for that. But as we move towards our Friday, more the northern half of the Arclitex looks to more than likely suffer from high heat and humidity, or the major part of heat and humidity, as you can see, affecting areas like Texarkana, northeastern Texas. Finally gets to get the higher parts of the heat and humidity there, as you can see, with Shreveport and Bossier as well, with the southern half of the Arclitex dealing with a lesser amount of heat and humidity as compared to the others around the Arclitex. Heading into Saturday, this goes out to around Sunday or Monday, I believe, this parameter does. But as we move into Saturday, conditions get a slightly cooler, but some areas could still deal with some major heat and humidity in the northern half of the Arclitex, mainly around I-30 and northward, as you can see there, with portions of McCurtain County also dealing with the high heat and humidity, or major heat risk potential. For areas, I believe that's Idabel in that red zone there, and DeQueen maybe also in that red zone, in Sevier County and Howard County up in southwestern Arkansas also. As we look towards Sunday, that heat risk potential, the major heat risk potential, looks to stay in the northern half of the Arctic, with some areas in the far southern portions of the region staying a little bit cooler. And as we look towards our Monday, that heat and humidity looks to return into the Arctic. We could see more red colors and potentially even some purple colors out there as we look towards our next work week, mainly because of how temperatures may rise by that time frame. Now let's take a quick look at the calendar. The temperatures that we have seen so far this month here, actually, for Shreveport and Bossier in terms of high temperatures. July 1st through the 5th, actually 1st through the 7th, the first 7 days of the month, we saw above average temperatures. We even hit 99 degrees, very close to the 100 digit degree mark, but we did not reach 100 yet this year so far. We have a very high chance of reaching the triple digits, though, as we move towards the 8th, 9th, and 10th of July. We did see some higher rain chances across the Arctic, which is why temperatures cooled off to around the average to slightly below the average, which denotes that blue color there for the 9th and the 10th, which means below average highs for this time of year. As we moved into July 11th, back above average, but around the average for this time of year. As we move towards the 12th, 13th, 14th, 15th, and 16th. As we moved into July 17th, it was a little bit hot and humid around the Arctic. Heading into our last Friday, this past Friday, we did see that tropical system move through, and that's it brought some rainfall to the Shreveport and Bossier area, which is why we dealt with below average highs moving into our Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. We did see very hot and humid conditions out there, and Sunday was the start of the hot and humid trend that we are still in as of right now. We reached 99 degrees on Sunday during the late afternoon hours. But on Monday, yesterday, we actually only reached 97 degrees. Believe it or not, it was very hot and humid out there around the Arctic, but we did only reach 97 degrees. And I'm not saying only as it's just a small number, but 97 degrees is still high, of course. But I'm expecting bigger numbers. I'm expecting to hit the triple digits this week. And I kind of want to see it. I know some of you guys may not want to see it, but I kind of want to see it myself. Especially denoting that we saw a lot of triple-digit temperatures out in when I first came here around June 2023 or August 2023 it was. We saw only 4 days out of that whole month were temperatures or high temperatures below the 100-degree mark. So you could say I'm used to it. Not so much used to it, but I do want to see triple digits this year for sure. But we have the potential to see the triple digits here today on the 22nd, 23rd, and 24th of this month before we get a little bit of a cool down. And heading into the end of the month and into August, we could very well see the triple digits once again around the Arctic, mainly because of the forecast for the next 6 to 10 days ahead. It's expected to be above the average for this time of year, or likely above the average, not only for the Arctic here, for Shreveport and Bossier, as you can see in the southern portions of your screen, or the southern half of your screen, but for most of the country, especially for the states like Nebraska. That's mine is blanking. That's Kansas, right below Nebraska. The Dakotas and South Dakota, Iowa, Missouri, Colorado, parts of Wyoming are dealing with the higher parts of the hot and humid conditions, as well as Oklahoma and northern portions of Texas. But most of the country, most of the south and eastern United States as well, dealing with hot and humid conditions and likely above average temperatures by that time frame as well. But looking through the next 8 to 14 days, that looks to be slightly lower above average temperatures here. We're likely going to be above average for the next 6 to 10 days. 8 to 14 days, though, that chance decreases a little bit, but we're still expecting above average temperatures through that time frame. And let's give you a look at the 12-day forecast here around the region here. We already saw the 7-day, but we're going to extend this all the way out into the next 12 days. The next 5 days after the next 12 days ahead, we could see triple digits once again, as you can see, moving into next week, July 29th through the 2nd. Very well could see the triple digits once again, and possibly through the same time frame as what we see for this week, Tuesday through Thursday. Triple digits are possible around the Arctic, or at least for Shreveport and Bossier here, before temperatures possibly decrease back into the 90s heading into the first couple of days of August. So definitely some hot and humid conditions are on the way for today through the rest of this work week, as well as coming up again, heading into the following work week here around the Arclitect. So here, let's take a quick look at some heat safety tips before I let you go here on the KSLA First Alert Weather Breakdown. I'm going to also move myself off the screen because my screen is too big. But as you can see, first order of business, we're going to talk about the KSLA First Alert Weather app last. It's not the least important per se, but we are going to mention it here. Make sure to stay hydrated. Number one priority is to stay hydrated. When you sweat out all the nutrients in your body that keep you cool. Actually, the sweating that you do is keeping your body cool, is regulating your body temperature. When you are when your body is trying to sweat and nothing is coming out because you're not staying hydrated, that's when your body tries to use anything possible in your body to keep you aware and keep your brain regulated, keep your body regulated. And when your body temperature gets out of control, that's when you start having problems, and that's how you start suffering from heat-related illness type of symptoms here, which I will talk about in just a second. Make sure to stay cool, as mentioned before. Small fan, big fan, anything works. Take frequent breaks indoors or in the shade if you have to be outside, and make sure to dress appropriately with light-colored and loose-fitting clothing. And the reason why we say light-colored clothing is because darker colored clothing actually absorbs heat more. It makes you feel hotter as compared to light-colored clothing. So it's best to wear the lighter colors like the white shirts and the light blue shirts, maybe even the yellow shirts, because it actually deflects the sunlight off of you back towards or it scatters around. It deflects the heat back off you. It doesn't absorb it just as darker colors would as compared to lighter colors here. And loose-fitting clothing, obviously, because you don't want something too heavy on you. If you have a dark colored clothing and it's heavy on you, that's the worst type of clothes to have on, and especially when it's 90 to 100 degrees outside or higher than 100 degrees, let alone that. But as you can see, definitely make sure to take these into consideration. Stay hydrated, stay cool, and just dress appropriately here as the heat and humidity stays around the Arclitect. So let's take a quick scenario here. This is just a scenario if it's just to denote if it's too hot for walking outside. If the air temperature is 97 degrees, first of all, you see 97, I wouldn't take my pet or my dog or my cat or anything outside when it's 97 degrees, let alone if I had any kids. I would not take them outside for 97 degrees. It's way too hot outside. But in the pavement that you may be walking your dog on is even hotter than that. Let alone just to give you guys a quick denotion of that, 145 degrees will be the temperature of the concrete, mainly because of how hot or how long it will be warming up since temperatures have climbed up to 97 degrees. And if it's blacktop, it's even worse than that, 150 degrees out there on the blacktop. It's slightly warmer than concrete. And just to give you guys a quick factoid about this scenario, paws start to burn after 1 minute when the pavement is 140 degrees. So if it's a little bit hotter than that on concrete, please do not take them outside when it's when the temperatures are this high here. And just wrapping up the show with this here, as you can see, these are the signs of heat exhaustion: faint or dizziness, excessive sweating, cool, pale, clammy skin, nausea or vomiting, rapid, weak pulse, and muscle cramps. And for heat stroke, it's just a little bit different here. Throbbing headache is a symptom. No sweating is a symptom. Red hot, dry skin or body temperature above 103. Nausea or vomiting. Rapid, strong pulse, or may lose consciousness. And the things you should do for heat exhaustion: make sure to get the person out the heat if they're suffering from any of those symptoms. Tell them to drink water or give them a cool shower or a cool compress. And heat exhaustion is definitely a medical emergency, highlighted in red there. Call 911 immediately and try to cool them down as much as possible until help arrives here. So that wraps up our show for today. I hope you guys learned something from this episode, and I hope you guys take something from this episode. Make sure to continue to take the necessary precautions because it's very hot and humid. We are in one of the hottest parts of the country, and we are in the hottest time of the year. As as per usual, we're in the end of July and early August. So this is pretty much the dog days of summer where we will see very high temperatures and a lot of sunshine. So make sure to take the necessary precautions, please, that I explained throughout this episode, and make sure to stay safe out there and stay cool during the dog days of summer or during the heat and humidity of the day. Thank you guys so much for tuning into the KSLA First Alert Weather Breakdown for today. I'm meteorologist CJ Cartledge signing off from the KSLA First Alert Weather Breakdown. You guys won't see me through the rest of this week, but you will definitely see me by next week. Make sure to have a great rest of your day. Stay cool and stay dry.